Hello friends, this is Shabaz. Today I'm going to show you how to access a particular member from the production set of production libraries. For example, let's say if your system have some n number of production libraries, for example production1.lib, production2.lib, and so on, and you have some priorities for a particular program name to be checked. For example, I have a program name prog 350p. For example, this program prog 350p can be in any of these these n libraries, and you have priority as well, so you need to consider this library as the first priority when searching for this particular program. So how you can able to view this? So you need not to remember this name again and again. So normally you might be familiar with the ISPF environment. So this is how our ISPF menu looks like. So by pressing 3.4 we'll go to this particular screen, which is the DS list. We'll get the DS list. So we used to enter the production library every time. So for example, this particular member probe 350 might be present in production library 2, so we might go to this production2.lib here, and then we will search for that particular member. So each and every time we used to type the name here, library name, and access that one. So today I'm going to show you we need not to remember this particular library, and you can access it uh, in fraction of seconds. So let's get started. So I'm going to show you a Rexx program. So this is a Rexx program. So I will start the heading with the Rexx comment. This is nothing but a comment line. So we have written our comment line. Now, first of all, what we need to do is whenever this Rexx program is being executed, you need to accept some arguments followed by the program name called. So I would say arg space, you will say program name. So this one will hold the program name being passed to this Rexx program. um, I will show you later how this one will work. So just imagine like we are accepting the program name to which we have to browse in the production libraries. So I have accepted this one. Now I will just strip spaces, just strip spaces from this program name. There is an inbuilt function strip which will strip the spaces. So I will just assign the same name. So now our program name will not have any spaces at the leading or lagging. And after that, again I will do a check. For example, if user haven't passed any program name, so in that case our program name will be none. Then what we need to do is we need to ask the user to type it again. So I'm just going to display a message to the user, like say enter member name to be browsed, to be viewed. So I will just say this. Then there is something called pull function which will accept the user input. So using this pull function, pull prog name, I'm pulling the prog name again. So this time user might have entered some member name. So again I will strip this one, strip off prog name. So I will just assign this one to prog name itself. Yeah, this is done. Imagine if the user again typed nothing. So we need to handle that one as well. So I will just write one more if condition here, similar to this one. Just copy this, then do, let me just end this if here, and this if needs to get end here, the top one. And in Rexx, in Notepad++, we can able to have the Rexx highlighting as well. In case if you want to know how to do this, you can probably check out my first video. I will give the link description below. uh, So here, if again the second time as well, if user doesn't enter anything, in that case I will say no member, or no, yeah, no member entered, exiting the program. I would say we are exiting you from the program because nothing is entered. After that I will say simply exit, which will exit this program. So in case if this program name is typed something like other than this, um, other than blanks, if we have some values, then we'll just continue to the next step. So we have the member name which needs to be searched. Now imagine we have some production libraries like this. For example, let's imagine we have some three production libraries, prod3 dot lib. Now what we need to do is we need to store this all these library names into a stem variable. So I would say, and let's say list, I will give a variable as list dot one is equal to this is similar like an array. So in the first index I'm storing this particular value, and in second index I'm storing this value, and then list dot 3 is equal to I'm storing this value. Let's just make it as a string so that there won't be any confusion. So I'll just store this as a string. Now after that what we need to do is we need to define another variable. For example, say count. This count will have how many libraries which have been defined in my list array. So here in this case it is 3. So let's have it as 3. So once this is done, now what we need to do is we just need to run a loop. So I will run a do loop. Do, I would say I is equals to 1 to count. Remember this count is 3. So we are looping from first library to third library. So this loop will end here. I'll just remove this particular program name here. So after that, now we have the member name as well, right, which is being stored in prog name. So our actual library will look like this. Library is again a variable which I'm defining, so it will look like this. It will be list dot I can be anything, 1, 2 or 3 depending on the type of iteration that we are running. And after that I'm going to concatenate the open bracket, and after that we'll give prog name, user entered prog name, and after that I'm going to close, I'm going to concatenate a closed bracket as well. So normally this one will look like this. I will write it as a comment to just visualize how the value will be. Lib value will be like this. For example, here we have given prod1, right, prod1 dot lib. So after that open bracket, then let's say program name we have given prog 564d. So this is how the value will be after in the lib variable. Hope you can able to visualize this. So after that we have the library name. Now what we need to do is we need to check whether this particular member is present in the PDS file or not. So how to do that? We can able to use a built-in function which is called SYSDSN. This is an inbuilt function, and here what we need to do is we need to give the lib here, but lib here. So I will just walk through you the description of this. So I will give the link as well to this description provided by the IBM about the SYSDSN. So I just wanted to highlight one thing. So here there are some possible outputs from the function which we can get. Among this, the most important is the first one, which is OK, which says the dataset or member is available. So I will probably check with to that one. Is equal to okay, that means our data set is present. So I will do some operation. And one more thing to be remembered, here we need to add, we need to concatenate a single quote to the library name. So you need to concatenate single quote at the beginning and at the last. Then only you can, your library will be searched as it is, the one which I have given here, prod1.lib. If you forget this single code concatenation, what the system Rexx will do is it will search for the user libraries. It will add your user qualifier at the beginning and it will search for that which is not present, so you might not get the result. So just make sure to add a single quote at the end and at the beginning. So after that we have a simple command which is called address ispexec. Then what we need to do is we just need to give view, then data set, then again you need to give the library name for which you want to view. Again I will append a single quote at the beginning and the end. After that library, then again single quote. Now here we need to close this one, and again here I will close the bracket, give a space, that's it. So you can see only lib is coming seen in the black color, which means it is a variable, dynamic variable which can be changed depending on the loop. So this is how you will do. So once you able to find this one, you will display it and you will exit the program. Exit the program. So this is how it will be. If nothing is found, what you will do is you can just set a flag here. For example, I would say here found is equal to, I would say n. So whenever it is found, it will go here. So I will set the flag as y now. And at the end, even if my flag fnd is still equals to n, that means we didn't find the particular member in any of the PDS mentioned. So I would just display a message to the user, member not found in any libraries, and I will just say please check the member entered, just to cross check. So that user might have did a typo error. So after that I will just exit the program. So this is how your function looks like. So I will just walk through a quick walkthrough of this particular program. So first of all, what we are doing is we are just accepting the user input from argument passed in command line. So what do I mean by this? For example, you have the command line here, right? Show you, this is, yeah, we have the command line right at the top option, which is shown by the option. So normally you can call your Rexx program by just typing this. You can just say tso. For example, this program name, I would say name is, I would say uh, viewing. I have given the program name as viewing. So what you can give is tso viewing, and after that if you give your member name, in our case it is prog 456p, we are giving this program name. So if you type this particular three words in your command line, then your argument proc name, which is accepting some variable proc name, this proc name will have this particular value. So in that case, it will check whether it is blank or not after stripping the spaces. So it won't be blank, so it will just directly come to this point, the 18th line number. In case if you haven't typed anything followed by the top three, for example, if you have given like this, just TSO viewing, and you forget to mention the member name, so in that case here it will just strip the spaces, and there, and definitely there nothing is passed, so it will ask the user to enter the member name. Then you will enter some name, and that name will be stored as the new program name. And in case if you again type nothing, then you will get a error message and you will be exiting from the program. So now again here we have defined the defined libraries of production PDS, or it can be PDS. So you're defining it here. So here for example I have taken three libraries. In your system you might have some 10, 15 or 12 libraries. It can be anything. It can be COBOL, it can be SAS, it can be JCL, it can be your user libraries as well. For example, you want to run particular JCL more often than not, so you will just call using the member name, and you will give your particular library name here. So whenever you give just TSO viewing your particular JCL that you want to run, you will get it on your screen in a flash. So here we have defined count of libraries which have been listed above, and we are just setting a flag to just check if it is not found in all the libraries here. So, and after that we are just appending a bracket, open bracket and close bracket, to the production PSC name along with the member. Then we are just checking whether this particular dataset is present or not. If it is present, then we are just giving the dataset to the user, and if it is not present in any of the libraries, then we are saying members are not found in any libraries. So this is about the tool that I'm talking about. So, and one more thing that most of the beginners find it difficult is how to make your program access from using the TSO from the command line. So what you need to do is you need to assign your Rexx library to the SYSPROC. For example, I have written this Rexx program in libraries, say my library is, for example, some user id dot Rexx prog. So let's say this is my library, PDS library, where I have created a member called viewing, in which I have coded this whole code. So what you need to do is you need to assign this particular user ID to the SYSPROC. So how you can do is there is one link I can able to give you in an actually blog which was written by David. He has given a clear explanation on how to allocate your SYSPROC with the Rexx libraries. I would recommend you to just go through it and just make the changes, and just try to add your library at this particular point in the command. So here I have to add user id dot Rexx of I will give the name which I where I want to allocate my SYSPROC. So this is about the video. So in case if you have any doubts, or if you are facing any issues, do add a comment in below so that I can get back to you. So that's it guys, thank you.